don't even know what I look like.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to Action Coach here in Birmingham. It's great to have you with us on this sunny where I am, sunny Wednesday lunchtime. And it's great to have Rachel McGideon-Fee from iCell Digital with us again. Hi, Rachel. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, Steve. And it's also nice and sunny where I am, which is lovely, although there are black clouds coming.
That's great to know. And this lunchtime, we're going to be talking all about Instagram Reels. Now, it's something that means not a lot to me, but it means an awful lot to Rachel. So we're going to find out all about how to make a reel and a bit about what Reels can do for your business and overcoming potentially that fear you have of using Instagram and using Reels. So we're coming to that in a moment. If you are listening to us either on LinkedIn, on Facebook, or you're listening to us on the Zoom, please do ask any questions, particularly of Rachel on Reels. I'd love to know the answers. And but we can always expand the conversation a bit about social media as well, and a bit about which platform is better for your business. But we're here for the next 40 minutes or so to answer your questions and to learn a bit about how we can make use of social media to drive our business forwards. If you're listening to us for the first time, please give us a like, please share the feed. If you're listening to us a second time, go on. We'd love to have one of those magic love hearts, because I think they really do help with the algorithm on these social media platforms. And also just tell us where you're listening to us from. We'd love to know how far we're reaching this lunchtime. And if you have any questions and you're listening to us, perhaps when we finish the live, then please do put the questions in the comments below, and either Rachel or myself will reach out to you, we'll connect and we'll answer those questions and perhaps sort of take the conversation offline as well. That's enough of me rabbiting on. Over to Rachel. Rachel, it's great to have you with us. You're not a newcomer to us here at Lunch and Learn. Tell us a bit about what ISEL, or as I like to say, iCell Digital, is all about. What do you do?
So I do all things digital, trusted voice in digital marketing. So I work with small to medium-sized businesses, helping them with their digital marketing strategy, the implementation of the strategy, training them on the strategy. So everything from an hour's one-to-one up to full digital marketing strategy management and everything in between. You can see everything that I deal with behind me here as well.
Perfect. So digital marketing, social media can be both a time bandit and also an area of the business marketing that people sort of tend to shy away from and have less confidence in. It may be a new area for them in the business. And it's people like yourself, Rachel, that you can outsource, delegate that work to, and know it's going to be done efficiently, effectively, and to a great high standard. So if you've got queries on social media, digital marketing, Rachel, we don't recommend anybody on these Lunch and Learns. We only recommend the best. So do connect with Rachel. But Rachel, I know this Lunch and Learn, we're going to talk about this. And I'm keen to learn. Instagram is not a platform that I use very often. I tend to use, because of the business, really, we tend to steer towards LinkedIn, Facebook. I have learned a bit about TikTok over the lockdown because my daughter has just taken up an account with TikTok. But I'd love to know a bit more about Instagram. How can it benefit our business, first of all? And then what is a reel, Rachel?
So, funnily enough, you said you've become familiar with TikTok. So, Reels, on the admission of Adam Mosseri.
Oh, yes.
On the admission of him earlier last week, Instagram Reels are a competitor for TikTok. So basically, they are short videos which you can produce on your account. They have their own feed on Instagram. So if you want to just scroll for Reels a bit like you do on TikTok and get lost for hours, you can do. But they also, this is if your account's on public, they also show on the main Explore page as well. So where you're scrolling through and you might see a picture or you might see a carousel post, you'll also see Reels pop up there as well.
So good. I was just for clarification, is Instagram Reel a separate platform or part of the same platform, same account as Instagram?
It's part of the same platform, so the same account. So the picture you've got there, so there's a picture there of an account, and it's got the picture with the blue follow button.
Yes.
If you look underneath the blue follow button, there's a grid, and then next to the grid there is sort of like it's almost like action type
Oh,
clipboard
this image here, yes.
with an arrow in it, that is the logo for Reels. So if you were to press on that, and actually that is showing the Reels feed.
Right.
So all that feed is videos.
And I know we're going to look into that in more detail, but a question has just come in. Is it fair to say that these social media platforms are blurring the edges, and we're sort of almost I guess it's competition, isn't it? You know, good old healthy business competition.
Yeah.
They're trying to compete on each other's territory almost.
Yeah, and that's it's. I would say it's to do with demographics, and yes, it is blurring the edges. I mean, Steve, you just said about your daughter being on TikTok. Well, I wouldn't personally use TikTok because of my age. How do marketeers connect with people within our age range? Well, they're more likely to be on Instagram, and actually, hot off the press, Facebook are actually experimenting with sharing reels on there as well. So, basically, yeah, it's making sure so they know that video content is is the prime content that you can have. It's a way of engaging. It's a way of your customers and clients getting to know you and buying into your brand and your business. So actually, it's a very important part of your strategy, regardless of whether it's Reels or if it's YouTube or Instagram TV. So they've recognised, obviously, Facebook that owns Instagram have recognised that this is a big part of the industry, and they're just upping their game to ensure that they're not losing customers to TikTok. They've gone so far as to now you can so with the advertising, so Facebook and Instagram advertising, the ads actually appear in Reels now as well. So it's massive, it's huge.
And social media has grown, dare I say, because of the pandemic partly, but over the last 18 months. But that little video play button has become so powerful on the internet, hasn't it, Rachel? You know, everyone's that human curiosity wants to know what's going on. And I have to say, you know, my colleague Julie, she'll be laughing at me if I dare talk about lawnmowers, but you know, I might not go there. But we have all become reliant a lot more on video when we do our, you know, whether we want to see what an item looks like, clothing, whether it's a lawnmower, whatever it is, when we're buying and selling, we've become reliant on video as part of that process.
Absolutely. And as I said, it's a way people buy from people, and people buy from things that they're familiar with. And as well as that, social media users want to be entertained. They don't want to necessarily be sold to all the time. And it's a subtle way, through that entertainment is a subtle way of selling, I guess, or building a relationship with your customers and clients in order for them ultimately to make that purchase, or to employ you for their services.
Yeah, and it's much easier to build trust, isn't it, through a video? I mean, obviously face to face and through networking, but a video is the next best thing as opposed to an image and text below. So anyway.
Images are still a part of Instagram, and still a big part, and I will move on to that later. But yes, definitely, video is a quicker way of connecting. You've got 8 seconds to gain someone's interest.
Is that 8 seconds just on Instagram, I take it?
8 seconds. So 8 seconds. So when 8 seconds for a video. So
that's that right. Okay.
Yeah. So you know, they will scroll past. So this one of the things that I talk about is, you know, at the start of your video, make sure it's interesting. Are you solving a problem? Are you asking? You know, you've got to make sure that you're hooking people in. And you've got 8 seconds to do that. Otherwise, they'll scroll past.
Well, I won't steal any more of your thunder, Rachel. I know you've got 1 or 2 slides just to share to talk us through, you know, what a reel is and how to go about creating a reel and some top tips. So I'll let you share your screen if you want. It'll stop mine sharing. And I'm sure, as Rachel's doing that, if you have any questions, if you're a bit like me, a bit of a novice on reels, and you know, there's no such thing as a silly question in these webinars. You know, please do ask away and make use of Rachel's knowledge and expertise in this area.
Okay.
You sharing now, Rachel? I think is it.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm just starting to share now.
There we go. Perfect.
So obviously this is all about me, and this is where you can find me on Instagram, and cringe or laugh at some of my reels, but hopefully some of them you will take away some useful tips, not just on Instagram, on digital marketing in general. So what are Instagram reels? They are short videos on Instagram, obviously. When they first came out, they were 15 to 30. You could choose 15 or 30 seconds, but they've since increased to 60 seconds. This is still rolling out, so I only got mine increased to 60 seconds. I think it was last week. So if you haven't got it, you will get it eventually.
So that by building up credibility, or is it just they're rolling out the capacity?
It's just an update that's being rolled out. One of the other things I would say is if you're not seeing the event, I think 99% of the population that are on Instagram have now got access to Reels. If you're not seeing it, change your account to a business account or a creator account. Creator accounts are great because you do tend to get updates first. But yeah, so public accounts. So basically, if you've got a personal private account that only your friends can see your feed, etc., your reels won't show on the explore page, which is what I was on about earlier. So when the likes of myself are scrolling through, it won't show. And if I'm not following you on Instagram, or you haven't allowed me to follow you on Instagram because you've got a private profile, I won't see your reels. So that's really important from a business perspective. You need to make sure your account's public, which I'm sure it should be if it's business anyway. You can add music, so you can look for trending music. You can do voiceover, so you can speak to camera, talk to the screen, or you can put pictures together in a montage. So you don't have to show your face on a reel. Although I would advise show your face some of the time because it is about relationship building.
Just on that point you've made there about accounts being public, Rachel, a question from Jack is just asking, is it better to have a separate business account if you want to keep your personal, or do people buy from people? Is it better to have that personal element as well?
It completely depends on your tone of voice. Are the people on your personal account, are they your customers? If they're not your customers, then you're as well having a separate business account. I do have a separate, so I have my Ezell Digital account. A lot of people that I know follow me on there anyway, but I do have a separate personal account as well, which I wouldn't necessarily share all that stuff on my business account, but I would say have a separate one, because as the business evolves, if you're using your Instagram account to share pictures of your family holiday or the holiday with your mates or whatever, do you want business people to see that? And if you do want to share your personal stuff, do you want your customers or clients to see it as well?
Yes.
So I would say, I'd say have a separate one.
Perfect. Thank you. Hopefully that helps, Jack. Do keep the questions coming in. Back over to you, Rachel.
So this is what you see when you go into Instagram. I'm sure most people know this. So you click on that, you get the general feed. You can explore with this. So this is a magnifying glass, and when you click on that, you can search for stuff like hashtags and specific accounts. So if you click on that and type in at Ezell Digital, I'll come up. And this is the Reels icon. So if you click on that, that will bring you up a feed of all the Reels that are in the public domain. Sorry, not all the Reels that are in the public domain, of popular Reels that are in the public domain. Hopefully, if you create Reels and you're in the public domain and you've got a public account, hopefully yours will appear on the Explore page. But a bit more on that later. This icon here, for those who don't know, this is for Instagram shopping, and that's me. I'm not on all of them, obviously. So to create a reel, you go to the top where you can create your posts, stories, etc. You click on that, then it comes up with like a scroll thing, and it will say, post, story, reel, and you just click on reel, and it's quite self-explanatory. It will take you through to this screen here. So this screen here, basically, this is what these are all the tools that you can have for creating a reel. Now, there's two ways you can create a reel. You can create it directly in Instagram using these tools here, or you can upload one from a video that you've already got on your device, well, phone, actually, because you can't use reels on desktop. That's another thing. I would advise...
a device of some kind, is it?
Sorry?
Has to be on a mobile.
Yeah, it has to be a mobile. I would advise always, or as much as possible, to create the reel directly in Instagram, because the algorithm likes it. Although, if you are going to be doing montages, like photo montages, obviously you'll be uploading those from your phone, but you're still creating the actual video in Instagram. So actually, the algorithm, infamous algorithm, will like it. This brings up a feed of popular music, which is available on Instagram for you to use as backing tracks to your reels. But there's not only music. There is actually also voiceover things that you can use, and you can lip sync to them. So I've done a few of those on my Reels feed, and they're really fun to do.
You've got me intrigued now, Rachel. As soon as this webinar's over, you know where I'm going.
They are really fun to do. I will say, try and make sure that they are relevant. So these they tend to be like trends and stuff. So my advice is always, first of all, you need to be engaging on social media anyway. So because the more engagement you do, the better the algorithm likes it and the better reach you get. So I would be, even if you're not a newbie, if you're someone so I do reels, I might do 2 to 3 reels a week. I always look through the reels feed to see what audio is trending, and then you can go to the bottom of your screen. So along here, you will see what audio is used on that particular reel. You can click on it and you can save it. And then what you can do is you can think, right, okay, so how can I now make a reel that's relevant to my business using this audio? And that helps. Because you're picking up on a trend, it should help with the reach of your reels. Okay.
Can you have your own music as well, Rachel?
You can't, no, because it's copyrighted.
Right. Okay.
So, for example, if I was to, so you can talk directly to the camera. Yeah. So that, and then that's another, that's another really big thing. So, like, oh God, headline news today, reels are becoming, really, I can't stop saying real. Headline news, reels are becoming the focus of Instagram, etc. So you can talk to the camera. But if I was to have, say, for example, the radio on in the background, or if I was to have some music on in the background, like, I don't know, if you were doing a fitness class or something like that and recording yourself and then you uploaded it onto Instagram, it would actually block the music because of the copyright. So the music that is here is music that Instagram are allowed to use, or they've bought the copyright for, if you see what I mean. So they're allowed to use it. However, even if the song is in their library and you've got it playing in the background rather than selecting it from here, it will block it.
Right.
Okay. So your video won't be seen. So don't do that. That was a really good question, actually, Steve. So this is where you can select the time of the reel. So like I said, 15 seconds, click on it again, it will go to 30 seconds, click on it again, it will go to 60 seconds. Now, the advice at the moment is that the shorter, the more punchy the reel. Again, better for the infamous.
As you were saying, eight
Algorithm.
seconds is all people get before
Well,
they.
8 seconds is when you hook someone in. I mean, you can go over 8 seconds, but if you look at what's trending, they don't tend to be that long. And actually, over a minute anyway would be an Instagram TV piece, and you wouldn't be able to. So, if you were going to do something over a minute, then I would be using it on Instagram TV as opposed to Reels because it's, well, for a start off, there's no point trying to, if you've got something big to say, there's no point trying to cram it all into your 60 seconds, which might be the maximum amount you've got here. It's better just to use it as a video and use it on Instagram TV,
Right.
which is, So this here is how quickly, so one, the speed, basically. This here is where you get your effects, so where you get your filters, etc. So you see people.
Add a bit of hair.
Yes, you could add some hair, Steve.
Just what I need. I say that I've seen some of the effects that my daughter uses on TikTok on me, beyond words.
Have you seen, actually, a little bit off topic, but it is a brilliant one. Actually, it's not on TikTok, it's on Snapchat. Have you seen, again, there's a photograph of it on my Instagram feed, the Pixar filter?
I have, and she has tried it on me. The results weren't great, I have to say.
I quite liked mine.
The lack of hair didn't quite work with Pixar.
So yeah, this is where you get all your filters. Again, when you're looking through your Reels feed and looking for inspiration, there will be popular filters. And actually, they've newly organised it. Again, I'm not sure if it's rolled out to everyone. So when I go to select a filter now in my Reels, they categorise them. So it has appearance, trending, and something else. So you can have a look through. Again, make sure it's relevant. The odd funny filter every so often does no harm, especially if that's the personality that you're trying to put into your business. That's fine. But you don't want to be completely unrecognisable all of the time, because people will be like, I don't know who this person is.
A question from Sarah, Rachel. She's just asking, does one particular type of reel tend to attract more, or get more traction, I guess, is what she's asking. Is it more popular, more beneficial?
So, again,
is it better to do lots of Pixar? Is it better just to be yourself with no music? Is there a formula that you found that works better?
So I'm still very much experimenting. I mean, you can post a reel and you can get, like, within 20 minutes about 1,500 views.
Wow.
Sorry, 1,500 reach. Okay, and it's amazing. And then sometimes you'll post a reel and it's like, oh, it's only gone to 200 or it's only gone to 20. So and that again is to do with your insights. So time of the day you're posting, when's your audience online, hashtags as well. I will move on to those in a bit. This here, if it's trending. So again, I can't emphasize enough how if you can get something trending, like a trending music piece or a trending voiceover piece, it helps, and also with the trending filters. But what I do is I go through the Explorer, I save the trending music and the trending filters. I might not necessarily use them at that point, so I've got a folder full of trending audio. And then when I'm depending on the content I want to put out, I think, oh, well, actually, there's a really good audio in my saved that I can adapt that to. Okay. So yeah, it's a culmination of a lot of things, but they've got much better reach than your general posting at the moment on Instagram. I'm not sure if that's going to last forever, but I think, judging by what Adam said last week about them competing, I should think it might do. The important bit is that first 8 seconds, you've got to hook them in. So whether when you're looking through Explorer, you'll see the way that people get hooked in. It's transitions, so people jump up and down and they appear in different outfits. They might put the hand to the screen like that and then appear in another outfit. That would have been good if I could have done that then, wouldn't it? You know, it's about transitions and stuff. So, you know, it stops you scrolling, makes you look. The other thing that's really important as well is that you can actually put words on the screen. So you can put captions on throughout the reel. So you might say, for example, I did a carousel post yesterday about 5 ideas for reels where you don't show your face. And what I did, and so what I could do there is create a reel and use some trending audio. It could be music or it could be something else, and then I might then have them flash up on the screen the 5 different ideas. Okay, so I mean, it's very adaptable. It's hard. It's not hard to get your head around, but once you start thinking in that sort of train of thought, oh well, how can I make it for me? And once you look at what other people are doing, then you will start to get the ideas.
And thinking about just opening your mind away, taking your mind possibly away from your product or your service, and thinking about different aspects of the business. So
yeah,
a bit about you and I preparing for a webinar, or whether it's I'm recruiting. So here's me, sort of talk about recruitment, or talk about something you're doing that day, or maybe things outside of work that relate to work. I guess it's trying to be as creative as possible, isn't it?
Yeah, so you could do things. I mean, time lapses. They're really eye-catching. The other thing is, which is really popular, especially if you've got products which go through the post, is unboxing, where you film people. If anybody wants to send me stuff and I'll do some unboxing videos, feel free. Basically, it's where people film. You get influencers, so you might send something to an influencer, and people film the unboxing of the product. So you as the customer buy into it and oh, that looks brilliant. God, I really want that in the post. But conversely, what you could do as the person sending it is you film you putting together the product, or you putting together the boxes, or you packaging and things like that.
You bring back a memory now, because I say my daughter's onto TikTok, not all the time. I do limit her access. But she seems to have got addicted to these packaging, where the packaging up sweets. There seems to be a lot, people are on TikTok placing their orders and then watch their orders being packaged and sent in, then put in the post.
Yeah, it's a huge. There's a couple of sweet people on Lisa Sweet Treats are really, really good on Instagram. And yeah, they show pouring the sweets into they might show them pouring them into serving platters and things like that. So for example, if somebody was making up sweets for the kids to watch the match tonight, because apparently there's some football match on this evening, don't know what it is.
Playing, Rachel.
So but they would film them pouring the sweets in, so that you're thinking, oh, that's brilliant, and even the sound and the colours, it's amazing. You're buying into it. So that is, there's loads of different ways to do it, where you don't necessarily have to show your face, and you don't have to talk to the screen. There is a post on my feed, 5 ways to do it without showing your face.
Perfect. No, it's well worth going to your website or onto your feed and watching that or reading it. I guess the other thing is about showcasing your team as well. It doesn't always have to be about the business owner, does it?
Absolutely. So showcasing your team. So this is I don't know, this is John. He's our warehouse manager. And I mean, there's 2 things you could do there. You could get him to talk to camera. If he's not confident on talking on camera, that's absolutely fine. You could just get loads of different pictures of stuff that he's done. Before and afters. So this is great for the trade industries. So, you get people, a painter and decorator, where they go into a room, it's completely stripped, and then a week later it's amazing.
Hand and comes back and it's all.
Yeah, exactly. See, Steve, you could be an influencer.
Let's move on. Another quick question was, in terms of it doesn't, I mean, we are, it's not a question, it's a comment really, we are instinctively nosy, aren't we, as human beings? Well, I am anyway. And again, just knowing what goes on behind the scenes. So if you're going
Yeah,
into McDonald's, you know, I'm just using it as an example, you know, how is your burger made? You know, tell us a
yeah.
story, show us some images of what goes on behind the bits the customer doesn't normally get to. That I think would, you know, always attracts interest, should I say.
Yeah.
And also at the moment with code regulations changing on a regular basis, you know, talking about how you're making customers safe, what you're doing, what precautions you're putting into place, etc. Again, another great way to use any platform, I think.
Yeah, and actually, it's going to be. I mean, it's obviously the impact on the events industry, and you know, the events that are going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So Reels actually will really help them. Always makes me laugh. It will really help them because they're going to be able to use those short videos. And it's not. See, the thing is, it's not time. Well, it's not once you know how to do it, it's not that time consuming. So it's not like producing a, I don't know, 3 or 4 minute video. So yeah, they are really, really useful, and there's so many different ways that you can use them, which will impact your business, and you don't necessarily have to show your face. And like I say, even if you've got products that you want to show, you can just put them together in a video montage. You can talk over them. You don't have to show your face, or you can use the audio. The things that I would say is that when you post a reel, you do share it to your stories. Stories are only on for 24 hours, but that helps people see that you've done stuff, and they'll probably click on it, and then they will go to your feed and have a look at it. And also share it to your feed, so share it to your Instagram grid. Now with this, sometimes Reels, if it's you talking to camera, or you jumping up and down, or you however you decide to do it, it might not, you might not like the look of it on your feed, but what you can do is you can actually upload a cover so it looks nice on your profile feed. So again, if you go to my feed, most of my Reels have got covers on. I did post one yesterday because I knew we were having this conversation. I posted one yesterday evening which doesn't have a cover on, but I'm fine with that. But yeah, most of them do have a cover on, and they literally, it is just for the sake of the feed, so it only lasts for milliseconds.
We've got a question from Ishmael, so it's good to have you with us, Ishmael. That's asking, how often should you post a reel? Is it something you should be doing daily, weekly? I'm guessing weekly is the least often, but what's your thoughts on that, Rachel?
So my thoughts on that are, as with everything social media, don't have a nervous breakdown and put yourself under pressure and all the rest of it and think, I haven't done it. So do what you're comfortable with, but ideally you want to be looking at once to twice a week. The other thing that you can do is you can create, so you can batch create them and save them in draft and then post them out when you're ready.
And I guess that if you're batch creating, that also may help with part 1, part 2, part 3 to keep your listeners or what viewers keep coming back. Is that
absolutely? Yeah. So that that's a really good point. You know, if you do it in as like a mini series, so part 1 being, I don't know, how to build a funnel, how to funnel your customers to a purchase, part 1, and then you go back and a couple of days later you do part 2, and then you do part 3. But you could create all those on the same day, and then just release them when you need to. I do need to emphasize as well, you do need your hashtags. You can't use hashtags in the on the wording that pops up, but once you go to post it, and you do post a comment, not a comment, you do post a, oh my gosh, I can't remember the word. Anyway, you do need to put your hashtags on there.
Right. And again, quick question for me, really, is there an optimum number of hashtags? Do you want 10, 2?
Well, that's changed recently as well, apparently. It was between 15 to 30, but they're now saying that less is more. So I'm still sort of testing that. So I'm using around 10 to 12 at the moment. When you're looking at hashtags, try not to go for hashtags that are in the millions, because you're just going to get lost in their feed. So if there's millions and millions of people posting using that hashtag, it's just going to get drowned out by all the noise, basically. So yeah, use, pick a couple sort of in the, I don't know, 5 to 6,000, around that sort of area, then go up to the tens of thousands, and then go up to the 20s of thousands. You try to use a location tag. So I always use United Kingdom or Birmingham or Worcester, because then it will they'll read it and they'll be like, oh right, okay, so we know they're in this area and they're in this area.
Again, yes, relevant to your business. So if you're a national business, national organization, UK, but if you're Birmingham based, then hashtag Birmingham.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, and you can tag people in your reels as well. So that's the other thing. Anybody wants to tag me in a reel, actually, this is a good point. If you're testing your reels, or you're going to go out after this and do a couple of reels or a reel, please do tag me in them. And I will have a look at them, and I will post a comment on there, because comments and interaction are equally as important in reels as they are in on grid posts. So you want you need a call to action. So ideally you want to end your reel with give us a like if this is relevant, or save this for future reference, etc. So make sure you've got a call to action in there as well.
Perfect. So many things to think about, but I guess once you've done a few, it becomes much more straight, like anything, it becomes much more straightforward, second nature.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as we say here at Action Coach, test and measure. So try something, see if it works, try something, try tweaking maybe the time you post it, maybe the content, maybe the effects or the hashtags, and keep testing and measuring. Is that fair to say, Rachel?
Absolutely, yeah. The starting point would be is if you've never done it and you think, right, I'm going to start using reels, then the plan I would be having in place is looking at Explorer and looking at the reels feed to pick up some ideas, see what's trending, how can you make them relevant, jot down some ideas. Don't put yourself under pressure to do it straight away, because it will come naturally, as anything in your business. You get your ideas and you think, oh right, I can use that in a reel. You can even repurpose content that you've put on your feed, or repurpose content that you've put on Facebook, and just make a reel. So that's the other thing. You can either put it into words by you talking about it, or you can look at ways to do that. So there's loads of different ways to do it. And look at your insights. So when before you're posting, which you do with all your posting on social media anyway, when are your customers or clients online, what day of the week is best for you, what time of the day, and sort of post perhaps about half an hour before then, so it has a chance to get into the feed, etc.
Absolutely. So yeah, test and measure, just make note of what you're doing, try a short reel, and then sort of play around with it. Say play, but
have fun.
Exactly. Have fun and enjoy doing it. So that's really helpful, Rachel. Is there anything else you want in terms of if somebody's toying with either Instagram, or I know you can advertise now on Facebook and on TikTok and on Facebook. Is there one platform that works better in different for reels, or for any particular kind of social media?
It depends where your customers are, as you say, Steve. You wouldn't necessarily. I'm guessing LinkedIn is your platform of choice.
Yes. So Action Coach, LinkedIn and Facebook.
Yeah. So it depends. Again, it depends where your customers are. There's billions of people on Instagram, and I did have that figure earlier, but I can't remember it. But there are billions of people on Instagram. But if it's not working for your business, but you do have a bit of fun on your personal account, then carry on doing that. But there is definitely, it's what you can do again with the advertising. If it's not working for you, so you don't have to, when you run an advert on Facebook and Instagram, you don't have to have them in all areas. So if it's not working for you in stories, or it's not working for you, if it's not working for you in reels, or it's not working for you to have your advert running in Marketplace, for example, then you just switch it off, and it stops spending money on those areas and puts the money where it's important. So again, it's about testing and measuring.
Brilliant. And Instagram Reels are access to anybody who's got an Instagram account right now. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, they should be. I did say at the beginning that I mean they started. I can't remember the month, but early last year. So I would expect all Instagram users to have them now. If you've never looked at them or never made one, then there's a possibility that you can't see. It will be there. There's just a possibility you can't see it.
Yeah, it's a bit like, and I don't use Instagram, but the buttons on Facebook at the bottom of your screen change depending on what you use.
Yeah.
So it's yeah, worth exploring and finding out. But what I would say to anybody who's listening to us right now is if you have any questions, Rachel, as I said at the very beginning of this Lunch and Learn, is the person to speak to. Her contact details are on the screen. Like me, do go and search her out. And Rachel, I saw you lost your screen there for a minute. You've got your Instagram and your Facebook feeds and your LinkedIn feeds, so connect on social media. What is your Instagram feed, Rachel?
It's that's really bad. I do know it. It just left my head for a minute. It's Isel Digital, so ISEL Digital.
So ISEL Digital on Instagram platform. You'll be able to find Rachel, and much of what she's been talking about right now you can see in action. If nothing else, just have a look on there to see Rachel lip syncing. Highly recommended for your lunchtime enjoyment.
Yeah.
In all seriousness, it's great to see how Rachel's using Instagram and other platforms. But if you have any questions, Rachel, I'm sure you'll be happy for people to contact you
Absolutely.
to explore what how you might be able to work together and have that initial conversation about the possibilities of their business and what they could do or what they're not doing and how they can move their business forward using digital marketing.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I say, I mean, I do everything from full management and strategy to one-to-one sessions to doing training sessions. So yeah, there's various different ways in which we can work together. But even, if you've just got a quick question, DM me on Instagram or on any of the platforms, or drop me an email. That's absolutely fine.
Perfect. Thank you, Rachel. And Instagram, Facebook, digital marketing is just one aspect of growing your business. And here at Action Coach, we are here to support you in all aspects of your business. Everything from planning destination, thinking about what you're doing in the next 90 days, the next 3 months, through to your financials, through to time management, systemization, and your marketing, and so much more, time and building your team. So if you want to have a conversation about taking your business to the next level and using our unique 6 steps formula and 5 ways to grow your business, then please do get in touch. I'd love to talk to you a bit more about those. You're probably wondering what 6 steps are and what 5 ways are. Haven't got time now, but please do pick up the phone, drop me an email, connect with me on any of the social media platforms apart from Instagram. But on LinkedIn and Facebook, please do connect with me there, and I will be happy and delighted to have that conversation. As Rachel said, in the same way, let's have a chat and see how we can work together. Here at Action Coach, we are supporting so many different businesses, and it's great, Rachel, to have you with us this Lunch and Learn to talk all about digital marketing. And I've learned so much. And I'm going to go and have another go at that Pixar filter with my daughter, see if I can actually make it work and make myself look a bit better. And for those of you who aren't interested in football tonight, maybe a great time to sit there and look at playing with Instagram instead. But if you are interested in football, let's all hope that we get the result we need this evening and see ourselves.
Coming home, Steve. It's coming home.
It's coming home. But absolutely, let's hope we get the result. I'm sure we will. Let's think positive. We get the result we want this evening and see a great match at the weekend. But enough of football. Thank you, Rachel, so much.
Thank you for having me, Steve.
You're becoming a bit of a regular now with us here at Action Coach. Yeah. It's great to have you on board, and great to be working with you on these Lunch and Learn webinars. So all our listeners, thank you to Jack, to Sarah, to Ishmael, and anybody else who's asked questions. Thank you for engaging with us. If you're listening to us on YouTube or on Facebook later on, please still connect with us. Please still ask the questions, and we will make sure we reach out to you as soon as we can. But stay well, stay safe, and we look forward to seeing you next week for our Lunch and Learns on Monday and Wednesday. Rachel, take care, and thank you again for being with us.
Thanks, Steve.
All right, everyone, take care. Have a great rest of the week.